2024, and we're heading via EV all the way down from the UK, driving down through France to San Sebastian, across the northern coast of Spain, heading into the Picos de Europa, the mountain ranges, before heading across to Porto, and then back up round Galicia, around the northern tip of Spain to Santander, and then back home via ferry.
I've been a petrolhead all my life, and it's fair to say that a few of my buddies really doubted how we'd manage this trip. You'll never be able to charge, you'll be waiting ages, why would you do that? Well, one, because this is a great road trip, full stop, especially if you've got 3 weeks or more. And secondly, because this isn't the previous decade anymore and things have really changed. We'd set sail for the continent from Poole Harbour on Brittany ferries. Firstly, it's one of the most beautiful ports you can leave from, and secondly, it's our hometown, so a bit of a no-brainer anyway. 5 hours sees you landing in Cherbourg by 2 PM and ready for a short hop via the quiet and oh so glorious D roads to our first destination of Mont Saint-Michel. We'd booked into the Ibis at Mont Saint-Michel because it has a lovely bank of superchargers. A quick zap because we still had more than 50% in the tank and would be heading to the Mount for the evening just as the tour buses were leaving. Day 2, and we plan to cover half of France today, making our way, bypassing the many charging points along the route until we reach Nantes, where we grab a quick bite before we headed on to Sens. We returned first thing to tour the Abbey, again before the hordes arrived, but if I'm honest, the whole place feels like a giant but real Disney attraction. The Abbey was largely empty and devoid of much information to make the tour more interesting. It's worth seeing, but temporary expectations to a 3 out of 5 destination at best. Better from the outside than in. There are 2 excellent sets of superchargers on the outskirts of Nantes. We opted for the one with the excellent Boulangerie Ange chain opposite, as we filled bellies, empty bladders and loaded vaults in a 20-minute pit stop. We've planned this road trip so that we're mostly just driving half days. It gives us a part of the day and the evening to explore the towns we're visiting, even if it's just an overnight stop. You could get to Spain in a day, but it feels like missing the best bits just to beat the stopwatch.
In 200 meters, your destination will
Santes. We're not sure how you pronounce it, but it's a delightful historic Roman scattered town on the road south and very worthy of your time. We spent the late afternoon and a few hours the next morning exploring. We're starting to see a pattern emerge. We're charging near our hotel, we go to bed with a car all ready to depart the next morning. Stopping midday for a top up and heading on to our destination where we'd rinse and repeat. The only difference today is we headed past Bordeaux, stopping for a lunch splash and charge at Le Bauer before doing a top up at Bayonne as we crossed the Spanish border. The car didn't need it, but our own bodies needed the quick relief break before reaching San Sebastian. As they say, don't stop to charge. Just charge when you need to stop. We left at 11, and once you get past Bordeaux, it's a long, straight, boring, but efficient toll road south, with the only interest being the gradual change of flora as warmer climes beckon. After an uninspiring lunch break at La Buère, mountains are finally spotted in the distance, signalling the upcoming border with Spain and the return of flowing curves to the tarmac. The Bayonne chargers enable a quick comfort break just off the motorway before arriving in San Sebastian just after 4, ready for a first explore. The toll tags are a really worthwhile piece of tech, saving time and hassle, especially when they have a 30 kph lane to breeze through. However, ours was an Immovis tag. It only covered France. You can get them to cover Spain as well, but you need two tags. I do know that some do work in several countries at once, so it's worth doing a bit of research. I don't know why, but San Sebastian wasn't on our original plan, but luckily friends of ours pointed out the error of our ways, and boy were they right. This was one of my favourite destinations on this road trip, and I'm really glad we planned a few days laid up here. It's perfectly sized, best covered on foot. It's lively in a civilised way with music, history, architecture, beaches, and oh, the food culture. It's a foodie's heaven, from the famous pincho bars to creamy Basque cheesecake and great restaurants. And when you've had your fill, just walk to the end of the cove and enjoy the sunset. It's a fourth leg, heading across the coast via headland cities and coastal towns, just 148 miles today. Our hotel had several 22 kilowatt chargers in the car park, and for the first time ever we tried life outside the Tesla ecosystem. Just a small top up and it all worked fine. We're heading for the small fishing village of Comillas, which holds a few surprises. First stop is an iconic setting from Game of Thrones. Home to Daenerys Stormborn, it's Dragonstone. In real life, it's called San Juan do Gastolagache, or something like that.
Going into the mountains. Oops.
Wow.
Did not expect to see that. Wow.
It's a short winding drive out to the coastline, not far from Bilbao. And even though this is very early season in late April, we were very glad to arrive by 10 o'clock. By the time we left, the car park was rammed. Normally it's ticketed entrance only, but in April this wasn't a requirement. What is a requirement is a need for some basic fitness. It's quite a steep climb there and back. Next stop is Bilbao for lunch and a walk around the centre, marvelling at Geary's Guggenheim with its flowery Jeff Koons puppy sculpture outside. Sadly, the exhibit is closed on a Monday, so we missed out on that. We like what we saw at Bilbao, but we're glad that we'd prioritised time in San Sebastian. With the long drive across the Picos imminent, we charged to 100% for the first time. This is the only section I was a little nervous about, not knowing how things would work out across the mountains, we've never done it before, with only a few public charges available until we reach Leon in 3 days' time. But before then, we headed to Comillas.
Now we're in Comillas. Now we get the entry sign for Comillas.
Oh, okay. That is, yeah.
Now bear right to stay on Paseo de Manuel.
Not only does it boast an impressive palazzo, but also one of Gaudi's earliest commissions as an architect, El Capricho de Gaudi. It's a building full of little delights, and we're really glad we stopped here for the night. Our final stretch for this episode sees us take a very short splash and dash during breakfast, before heading into the Picos de Europa. We'd never heard of them before, but they look spectacular and somewhat off the beaten track for many Brits. We made slow progress heading along the gorge to our first hike up to the hill village of Tresviso, before descending and on to Potes for a couple of nights. I wanted to head into the mountains with a fully charged car, knowing we'd been doing some short trips over the 3 days in the mountains before heading to Leon, more than 300 miles away. We used this very smart Zunder station at the services in Pessuez where we'd have breakfast.
That one ahead. There, look at that one. It's like a little Matterhorn.
In the sun like this.
The road actually hugs the valley as you wind into the Picos. We'd parked the car at the base of the Erdon Canal, the start of a 7-mile hike up to Tresviso. Goat would be a recurring image of this hike in more ways than one.
Five layers, wow. No wonder you're warming up. Oh, look at this up here. Oh, wow.
The climb starts gently, don't they always, before getting steeper and lumpier up a fairly boulder-strewn path.
Yeah, it's not so much rock fall as giant boulder fall.
We only met a few other hikers before we reached village civilization, tired, hungry and very ready for their speciality, roasted kids straight from the mountainside. It was simple, delicious and left me wanting a nap afterwards, but instead I got a knee-testing 7-mile descent ahead of me. Joking aside, it really was worth it. This slow winding journey through the gorge to the hike start point and then on another half hour to Potes for our overnight stop left us with 85% charge remaining, which should be enough. However, next time we drive up to the spectacular Fuente Day for an alpine style hike that's all downhill, mostly. Visit historic Leon and then into Portugal to sample the wine and port of the Douro Valley before doing it all again in iconic Porto. Please like and subscribe for the next episode. Thanks for watching.